If you're into cars or the automotive industry in general, well, this is your lucky day because we've hit the BMICH and we're here at the Ceylon Motor Show, and the organizers are promising that they've got the ultimate in modern motoring alongside the classics of yesteryear. You're watching Out and About on MTV Sports. Stay tuned. I'm here with Clive at the classic cars section right in front of a beautiful 1936 Jaguar, and Clive happens to be the proud owner of it. Hi Clive.
Hi, thanks.
Could you tell us a little bit about the car?
Yeah, it's a 1936 Jaguar SS100. It's the only one in the country and one of 3 in Asia at the moment actually. And it's actually the first car to have the Jaguar name on it, so it's quite a rare car.
Just tell me this. Now, this is a 1936 model, and when I look at it, it looks beautiful. It looks brand new. How do you maintain it? How do you keep it like this?
Yeah, so we've had the car for some close upon 17 years now. And when we got it, it was a complete wreck, completely corroded away, nothing really to see or do. So it took us 7.5 years to restore it to what you see today. And it's been like this for the last 15 years or 14 years. So it takes a lot of care, a lot of polishing, a lot of, you drive it out on a Sunday, just keep it out of the elements like this. So it takes a lot of effort, but it's worth it, as you can see. Yeah.
And is it expensive as well? I mean, the maintenance process, is it like really expensive?
It is kind of expensive purely because it's such a rare car. Finding spare parts and doing all those kinds of things is pretty hard, but you do it in stages so that things work out. So yeah.
I also understand that you're a part of the Classic Car Club of Ceylon. I see, and you're also one of the organizers of the event. Now, tell me, to put on a show full of classic cars, I understand there are a bit of vintage cars here as well. You need people to actually bring them over. You need people to volunteer to let them have their cars on display. So how was that process like?
Yeah, so the Classic Car Club of Ceylon has over 250 members. And basically we put an open call out for all the members that, a couple of months before the show, we're having this show happening. So to send us their entries. So whoever who can enter, it's open to anyone in the club. And the people who are keen to enter, send us in their details, and then 2 days before the show we start bringing in the cars. Some bring it early morning, some bring it during the night when there's no traffic. This particular year was a bit hard because of the rain, but in general it takes a lot of coordination. Luckily we have a really good team with us, the committee of the Classic Car Club. So we work tirelessly pushing these cars into place and driving them in. So the club members and the committee alone really make this happen. This show wouldn't happen without them. So it's a lot of effort by the entire club.
And if you could also give us like a quick sum up of what the classic car section has to offer.
Okay, so the classic cars, we have cars from the United Kingdom, which you can see somewhere around here, all the Jags and stuff like that. We've got cars from Germany, America, Italy, France. And for the first time, we've got some Japanese classics as well, which has been quite a big hit with the Sri Lankans as well. First time we've actually showed it. And then we've got another section up front there where you can see all the sports cars, so all the convertibles and cars like that. So in total, we've got over 130 or 140 cars. So yeah, there's a lot to see. Some cars that no one have seen here before. Some of these have been displayed in previous motor shows, but a lot of cars that you can look into.
going around the classic cars section, I was doing some inquiries, and I was told that the best person to ask questions about the items, the collector's items that are here, is Mr. Bree Ponnambalam, who's right next to me. Hello, sir.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening. And I take it you are also a member of the Classic Car Club. And everyone says that you're the best person to speak to. They say that you're a walking encyclopedia when it comes to these collector's items.
Well, I have been crazy about old cars, so basically I know most of it, not all. So maybe I might be able to help you in some way.
So I think you're the best person to ask this question, because when you take old cars, there's a lot of people misunderstand the difference between vintage cars and classic cars and antique cars. Could you shed some light on that?
Yeah, Sri Lankan's way of explaining is vintage is the very old ones with wire wheels, spoke wheels, and they go back from 1902 to 1945 or so is vintage. From there onwards, it becomes classics. So that's one way. So the difference between vintage and classic is basically that's how we identify. And maybe the single number registration is also a vintage car.
I see. Now, I know we are standing right in front of the the old Japanese car section. And when I had a conversation with you earlier, you were telling me that earlier the Japanese cars weren't really considered a collector's item, but now it is. Why is that?
Well, the cars have got older. And as you can see, some of the cars have become collector's cars all over the world. Now, if you see the Datsun or the Nissan, they call it the 240Z and the 260Z. These are all become collector's cars in the Japanese range. And this time, strangely, there are so many cars. If you look back, there's the Mazda Miata, the Nissan Fair Lady. So these are all Japanese cars that are coming into the market. I mean, that have come into the market are also collector's cars.
I see. And could you also just take us through some of the cars over here?
Yeah. This is a Fair Lady, which is the Nissan Datsun. This is the Mazda Miata. And this is also a Mazda Miata. This is the only car that has come in from the States. Left-hand drive, as you can see. This is the MR2 Toyota. And there is also the other MR2 and so on and so forth. So basically from there you have up to this, which is 7 or 8 Japanese cars, which are now collector's cars and are classics.
So what qualifies a Japanese car to be a collector's car?
Well, basically we in our club go as 25 years. If a car is 25 years, they become a classic. But there are some cars that become a classic even before 25 years.
And I understand it's not just the Japanese cars. We have other cars on show here this evening. What are the other categories, if you could just briefly tell us?
We have the British cars, we have the German cars, we have the French cars. So we have all sorts of vehicles that are here, but the majority is the British cars, because during the good old days, most of the planters were crazy about British cars, and they had the Triumphs, the MGAs. But sad to say, some of the cars have been exported. But still, now people have realized the value of these cars, and some of the cars that should have gone or which have gone to the scrapyard have been redone and brought here, which I could show as we walk along. How I don't have the photographs of what state they are, but these are cars that would have never run.
I see. All right. So as Mr. Bree Ponnambalam put it, the classic car show has a lot of other categories as well. So we're going to explore them. Stay tuned. So I'm standing right here at a place that looks like a car showroom. Back when the Great Gatsby was filmed. For example, we've got a 1954 American Cadillac right here. This gorgeous pink, beautiful car. Sir?
Well, one thing is that you know the capacity of these cars, the engine capacity is 5,800 cc, as against most of our cars today are 1,602 litre. This is left-hand drive because this has come from the States. And one other important thing is it's automatic, which our people are very familiar today. You never had automatics then. Everybody bought manual.
Because I mean, when I actually read the sign, it said automatic as well. I didn't know that technology existed back in the 1950s.
Well, they were pioneers in automatics. If you take any American car, the majority of them are all automatics. And in Sri Lanka, it was the opposite. They all wanted manual. With our traffic, today I think 99% of cars imported are automatics.
And if you could tell us a little bit about the other cars around this.
Well, all the cars from that end to here are basically Americans. Basically big engines, not small engines, as you can see. And these are cars difficult to run in our roads today. But we are thankful to the owners who have kept them, preserved them. We have a Buick, we have a Cadillac, another Buick, and Plymouth. These are very rare cars, even fairly rare in the state, but still parts are available for these cars because they manufacture. There are some cars still being restored, which would be here hopefully in the next motor show. Of course, restoration takes time and it's very expensive.
Yeah, and like you rightfully put it, I mean, as a collector yourself, I mean, you also find some of these cars which are in really bad shape, in really bad condition, and then you manage to make something really nice out of it. What's that like?
Well, it's a good challenge, and at the end of the operation, you are very proud. Proud because you have achieved it, bringing almost to its original condition, and also to see something that would have gone to the Panchika, the scrap yard, that is running. And also one other important thing is that if you look at modern cars today, they of different makes, they all look similar. But if you look at the old cars, they have different shapes because they basically design the cars individually. Today it's mostly wind tunnel and computers that are there, which if you look at a Toyota, you look at a Mitsubishi, and so on and so forth, they all look alike. But not so in the previous years, because you can see they all vary in appearance.
See, and just to ask you, like just in case like a car like this, the Cadillac like this, now I can see that it's beautifully maintained. In the condition that it is right now, if someone were to make an offer to purchase it, how much would that be?
First thing is whoever has these cars won't sell it. And the second, to answer your question, there is no price to quote in Sri Lanka because there are very few cars. Of course, anyone would pay a fantastic price if they want to purchase because the hassle of doing up cars, you have to have the people, the spares, and getting down the parts. So price, I mean, if you ask for a stupid price, I'm sure it will go, but none who have put their cars here would like to sell it.
I see. All right. Thank you. So we're in front of a 1922 Austin model, which we think is the oldest car on display at the Ceylon Motor Show. And Mr. Bree also happens to be the proud owner of it. Mr. Bree, if you could tell us a little bit about the vehicle.
Well, it's 1922. Austin, which was or is one of the most popular cars, and you find many of these cars. But models vary. Now in this model you find a model with the headlights on the mudguard. Then on the bonnet, it can be folded into three different. This is only in two corners, and the lights are situated there. So basically, the oldest Austin is this model. I won't know whether this is the oldest Austin in the country, but this is one of the oldest models in this country. And incidentally, you find the number V. I mean, for different districts, they had different numbers. It could be Badulla.
Just to stop you there, so this V came right even way before Shri, right?
Oh, Shri came out in 1956, if I remember right. So this is 1922. So V is for different districts. Incidentally, I have been to Kandy in this car, maybe around 12 years ago. There was no problem, they ran well.
And how did you come across such a specimen like this?
Well, my eyes and ears are open for any old car, and then since I have a craze, this was actually displayed at Cinnamon Lake. Earlier it was Trans-Asia, and I used to look at it and think if I can own one of these cars. Well, I think I'm fortunate. The one above made it possible. After a couple of years, after admiring it, I was able to purchase it.
And the country of make?
Brittany.
British car, yeah?
Most of our cars are British. If you look at the Fords, the Hillmans, they're all British cars.
And if you take vintage and classic cars in general, in your experience, because you have a lot of it, what do you think the best make is from? As in, like, which country?
Well, each country has specialties. I think the British did make very good cars. The Germans did. Actually, and the French made. All are same standards, but in Sri Lanka, I think the oldest is the British cars because they have a lot of British soon after the war, and we find practically all makes here.
And your favorite, personal favorite?
Very difficult to distinguish the difference. They have different character, and they are good in certain ways.
So I'm in front of the Porsche 919 hybrid endurance car, which is used for the endurance races in Le Mans. Check that out. Isn't that a beauty? And I've got with me the brands and relationship manager from Porsche, who's here with us. Hello, Sabrina.
Good evening, and welcome to the CMTA Motor Show. We're very excited to be here. As you can see, you've got this spectacular model here, 919 Le Mans Racer. We're very proud of this model because, as you may have already known, we've won 6 victories, 16, not just that, but we've been back in the races for a year now. We took a 16-year gap. So for us, this is our pride and joy. I mean, look at it. It is spectacular.
Okay. Now, I hear that this particular model is being it's out for auction next week.
It is. After the show, we would like to offer it for auction. So anyone that is interested, please contact the Porsche Center, Sri Lanka.
Wow. Okay. And could you just give us a little bit about some information about this model?
Well, basically, this is a hybrid model. This is actually a mock-up of the racer that's used in the videos that you can see here. The races happen in France every summer, and it's a 24-hour race. So not like the usual Formula races that go on for a couple of hours. This is a race of endurance, 24 hours. So it's not only about speed, it's the capabilities of the driver, the model. I mean, there's so much that goes into a 24-hour race you can imagine. And basically, normally 4 drivers will take part and basically rotate. And like I said, for us, it's our successful model. We have won 16 victories with this.
16 victories with just this 919 hybrid?
Yes. I mean, obviously, there has been improvements, developments through the years. But yes, this is the model that's brought us to such success. And as you may already know, Porsche has a rich DNA of motorsports. And that's what we like to now bring into our cars on everyday vehicles on the road today.
million miles left to go. Them guns go pow, but I'm ready for the war. Cause I'll never run away from who knocking at my door. I never paid attention to whoever tell me no. I take your crown, take your down. Better stay ready, better stay ready. If the skies start falling now and the world stop turning round, oh yeah, did you give your everything? You better give your everything.
Next up, let's go say howdy to the Audis. We've got the A6s and the A3s, and we've got some nice gentlemen from Audi here. Hi, Sankar.
Hi.
So I take it that you have the A6 right next to you?
Yes, this is the 2015 A6, the completely new model, and it was launched about a week ago. And if we go into the technical specifications, it has a 1.8 litre turbo engine producing 190 bhp, and also it's much more lighter than its predecessor model. It's 60 kilos lighter, and it has a lot of other exterior improvements, as well as other options that come standard in comparison to its previous model.
I see. And how much is this valued at?
This is roughly about 12 million approximately. It's at a fully duty paid price.
I see, right, thank you. And we've got the A3 right over there.
That's the A3.
So I'll just quickly go have a chat with your colleague. Hi, Tariq, right? Hi, how are you? So you've got the A3 next to you.
That's right. This is the new A3 which was launched last December. It was not a model that we had in our range up until last year. And it is it was actually the car of the year 2014, and it comes with a whole host of new features and performance to it.
Wow, and how much is that valued at?
This starts at about 8.5 million. 8.5 million.
Okay, are you able to tell me also what are the main differences between the A6 and the A3?
Well, this is on a different platform. The A3 is a much smaller car in comparison to the A6. They both have a 1.8 litre turbo engine, but they've been tuned differently because that vehicle is heavier. This vehicle has, both vehicles have actually the S-tronic, the new dual clutch S-tronic gearbox, and the interior layout and everything is different if you have a look at the vehicle and see.
Well, everyone's been talking about the launch of the BMW i8 right here at the Ceylon Motor Show. Well, the car's not up for sale and we don't know when it will be either. They've just brought one model down so that the people over here can have a look at it. It's also known to be the world's most progressive car. Check it out. It's got a carbon fiber passenger core like in Formula 1 cars. It's got 362 horsepower, 4.4 seconds to 0 to 100, about a 2.1 litre per 100 kilometer fuel consumption. And in a little while, I can also take you inside the car and show you what it's like. Alright, so everybody's been talking about this BMW i8 model, which is featured here in the Ceylon Motor Show. It's not yet for sale here in Sri Lanka, but you know, it's pretty comfortable, and I must say I feel pretty privileged to actually get the opportunity to actually sit in one of these. Now, if I'm to just take you through a few things, as you can see, the door goes up. The material here is from carbon fiber structure, which is used in Formula 1. It's got a full digital display. The seats are pretty comfortable, and even the lights apparently change. And what do you know? It's got a blue seat belt. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, actually. You wanna have a look at the inside? Check this out. All the material apparently is made, all the leather is made out of sustainable sources, so it's pretty cool.
World goes round, life I chose. What comes next? I never really know. A million miles left to go. Them guns go pow, but I'm ready for the war. 'Cause I'll never run away from who knocking at my door. I never paid attention to whoever tell me no. I take your crown, take your down. Better stay ready, better stay ready. If the skies start falling now and the world stop turning round, oh yeah, did you give your everything? You better give your everything.
So I'm inside a Jaguar F-Type, and I'm with Samila, who's gonna take me through this vehicle. Hi, Samila.
Hi.
I'm gonna start with starting off the vehicle. Wow, that feels good. It's not started. Has it started? Oh, I need to press the brake. All right. Oh, there we go. There we go. We've gotten it started now, and whoa, that sounds nice.
This is a 3-liter V6 and it's a 340 bhp vehicle. And also this vehicle was launched on 2012, and also on 2013 Jaguar launched the coupe version also on this vehicle.
I see. Could you just take us through some of the main specifications of this model?
Actually, this vehicle is built in aluminium body. If you see this interior, you get a 7-inch touchscreen and also large dials on this side. And also you can see the sports mode version here, and also the sports gear, which you can. It's a Tiptronic, and also you get the steering paddle shift. This vehicle is a 8-speed gearbox, turbo supercharged. And 0 to 100 is within 4.3 seconds, and you get in the 3-liter the 380 bhp version also, and 5-liter too.
Wow, that's amazing. And how much is this valued at?
Actually, this is the starting price. The coupe is starting price around 33 million, and the convertible is starting price is around 36 million.
Wow, and anything other than this model, are there any other new Jaguars that would be hope to launch here?
Well, actually, Jaguar has already launched, which is a vehicle, smaller Jaguar, that is the XE, which is also has the XE under F-Type technology, that is the XES. And also Jaguar is planning to come up with the new SUV vehicle, that is the Jaguar F-Pace. And also the new XF is also coming on the next year.
World goes round, life I chose. What comes next? I never really know. A million miles left to go. Them guns go pow, but I'm ready for the war. 'Cause I'll never run away from who knocking at my door. I never paid attention to whoever tell me no. I take your crown, take your down. Better stay ready, better stay ready. If the skies start falling now and the world stop turning round, oh yeah, did you give your everything? You better give your everything.
So we're at the Land Rover stall, and what you see behind me is the Discovery Sport, which was just launched here in Sri Lanka. And I've got with me Chandima from Land Rover. Hi.
Hi.
So if you could just tell us a little bit about this vehicle.
Well, this is an all-new vehicle. It was actually unveiled here at the Motorshow to the press yesterday. So it's pretty much brand new. This is the first unit in the country. This is actually slotting in to where the Freelander was earlier. So the Freelander now has been moved out of the model lineup, and taking its place is the new Discovery Sport.
I see. And what is this valued at?
Well, on the permit, it's going just over 11 mil, starting at just over 11 mil on the permit.
And if I'm not mistaken, right here on your stall, you've got 3 models on display.
On this side, we have.
Can we go over there? Yeah.
So this is the new Range Rover Sport. This is currently running a 5-liter V8 engine, which is supercharged with over 500 horsepower. So it's quite quick. It's quite quick SUV.
I see. And what about the other one over there?
The other one is the Range Rover Autobiography, which is Autobiography is the custom trim. It's made for a customer, an individual need of a customer. That too is running over a 500 horsepower engine.
I see. So is there anything else that we would expect in the coming future?
Well, yes, Land Rover is coming up with 2 new products, which I can't really say much about. But in the near future, there will be quite a few products very interesting products from Land Rover.
So lots more things to expect, eh?
Definitely.
World goes round, life I chose. What comes next, I never really know. 1,000,000 miles left to go. Them guns go pow, but I'm ready for the war. 'Cause I'll never run away from who knocking at my door. I never paid attention to whoever tell me no. I take your ground, take you down. Better stay ready, better stay ready. If the skies start falling now and the world stop turning round, oh yeah, did you give your everything? You better give your everything.
So we've seen some of the really beautiful old cars, classic cars that were displayed here at the Ceylon Motor Show. Amazing stuff. We also saw some of the really cool BMW i8s to the Jaguar F7 types to some of the other really cool modern vehicles that were showcased at the Ceylon Motor Show. So that's it from here, but don't forget to tune in to MTV Sports every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. to catch us out and about. And do like our Facebook page. It's www.facebook.com/outandaboutmtvsports. See you next time.